but I don't understand why would you argue via text?
Because it's easier. I can say what I want to say at a distance.
Right.
Because of how you respond to me when we have audible conversation.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to respond through text message because we at a distance. So I can get off what I want to say.
Yeah.
Without you, you might respond to me toxic in the text message, but you're not in front of me. And I ain't got to deal with that. I could deal with that more through this text message than I could with you sitting across from me and I'm trying to express myself. And your body language is giving off, I shouldn't be listening to what you're saying to me. Or I don't like what you're saying to me. So the posture is different. And a lot of guys are discouraged by the posture and how it would be received. So they stop speaking. That's how we do. That's how men do.
Yeah.
And I know what's crazy is, and this is the reason why I'm saying it. There's two reasons. One of the reasons why I keep saying to say what you have to say. Number one.
Yo, welcome to the cave with Mel, Troy, and Lex. The podcast with men to have a safe space. We on all platforms. You need to tune in, hit the like button, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Welcome to Melody, the podcast with men to have a safe space. Welcome to Melody. Welcome to the cave with Mel, Troy, and Lex.
First of all, come sit your ass down and get started.
Somebody that's gonna be potentially be seen.
Hey, I see he turned that camera, Mr. I don't listen. I see he turned that camera around.
Because we had to. See, man, don't be around people when you're trying to get yourself presentable, bro. Don't be around people who want to hold you back from making sure that you know what I'm
man,
saying?
come on, start
It's
the
cool.
show.
What's going on, man? It's your boy Melly Mel, aka Melly Badass, aka Meek Mel, aka your favorite truth teller, aka if you don't want to know, don't ask me. What's
It's
going
your boy
on?
T. Roy, your neighborhood hope dealer. If you need some hope, I got something you can borrow. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow.
What it do though? It's your boy Dr. Life Coach Lace, aka NBA old boy, aka I'm him, aka Mr. Big Shot, aka the Menace, no relation to Dennis. Let's get it.
When did you introduce Big Shot? That's
I've
the
been
first
said
time.
that, man. I've been said that.
Stupid intro.
Why it's gotta be stupid? My grandma called me that. So
Now he bring his grandma in there.
why it's gotta be
Look.
stupid? My grandma called me
See,
that.
people do that. They say stuff that you can't argue with. My grandma
called me that.
I'm tired of y'all.
For what?
Already.
All right, can I kick this off?
Yes, go
All
ahead.
right.
You already ready? Yo,
So-
you been dying to talk. This better be good.
It's a great story. It's gonna lead
Just
us
so
to
y'all know,
us to a.
Lay's been dying to talk about this. He
Yes.
texted us for 3 days talking about
First
I need
of
to
all,
tell this story.
it just happened yesterday.
For
And
3
told me I've
days he been
for 3
texting I
days.
need to tell this
You see what
story.
I'm saying? This why you can't. This why caged birds. This how caged birds act. This how caged birds.
Uncaged birds.
With cage mentality.
That's
act.
y'all.
Like that.
That's y'all.
That's how birds like that act.
That's how
He never said
that's
what
how
kind of
Ye used
bird
to
he
talk
is,
about y'all.
though.
He never did say that. I would say like a crow.
Please.
Definitely a buzzard or something.
You know,
A pigeon for sure. A pigeon for sure. A pigeon for sure.
Stop playing with me, bro.
Anyway, so we know in past episodes, I tell you how people call me for advice, randomness, like stuff that I don't even want to be involved in, but they seek out Dr. Life Coach Lace for advice. So here it goes. Take this journey with me. So other day, homie hit me up like, yo, Lace, I'm either going to jail or I need you to talk me off this ledge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm listening, bro. This is a homie that went to school with back in the day. And the crazy thing is, we talk via messaging, but we don't call each other much.
Right.
And we know how that goes. So if I need to call you. All right, what's up? So he hits me up. He said, bruh, this morning, his wife works from home or whatever. He's getting dressed to leave for work. Says, hey babe, I need to send some money for this girl's trip. Here's my phone. Send the money or whatever. So goes into send the loot or whatever via the app, and he sees all of these funds being sent to the personal trainer / meal prep guy, right? Personal trainer / meal prep. Yeah, so
I'm tapped in. I'm tapped in. You got me.
Now you taking it dirty. You feel me?
Is it recorded?
It is recorded.
All right, Lay's gone. Watch what I
Manly
do.
D's podcast, take 10 on Melvin.
Hey, what's going on? It's your boy Melly Mel, aka Melly Badass, aka Meek Mel, aka your favorite truth teller, aka if you don't want to know, don't ask me. Hey, real quick before you do anything else, hit subscribe on this video. Go ahead, push the button. You're here every week. I know you like being here. You like what we doing. I see you in the comments. I see you engaging. Go ahead and subscribe, man. That way you'll get first alerts every time we drop a new episode. After you hit subscribe on this video, do me another favor. Continue to do what you've been doing. Engaging, liking, commenting, laughing, joking, joining in with us. Let YouTube know that you care about what we doing, that you like these videos, so that way we can get pushed up to the top of that YouTube and get y'all to see us more often. After you do that, do me another favor. Tell somebody about this podcast, man. Tell your brother, your cousin, your nephew, your father, anybody that you know that you feel like would benefit from this. Get the word out there, man. Tell them about it. Tell them how good of a time that you having. Tell them about these real conversations that we getting into, because we want to have more group chat vibes. You know what I'm saying? More life lessons shared, all of that, man. So tell your people about it. Get involved. Help us out. And before you do anything else, after that, continue rocking with us. It's the Melly D's podcast. It's your boy Melly Mel. We out.
He did it.
So he said he sees it. So he scrolls up, sees around Christmas, $200 sent for get you some whiskey for get you some bourbon or whiskey for the holiday. Hope you have a good holiday. That type of thing. Now, granted, meal prep is consistent. Personal training, all that type stuff, whatever. So during this time frame, an Instagram notification pops up. So and I don't agree with going through people's phones, but he was intrigued. I'm gonna click the IG. Clicks the IG. Goes to the DM or whatever, sees messages from the personal trainer coming to his lady's phone.
Okay.
Through the DM.
And married, right?
Correct.
Okay.
He scrolls up.
That's the important part.
Scrolls up. So they were her and some of her homegirls were on a trip a while back, right? So sees messages of the pictures that she posted or whatever with her and her girls or whatnot. He in the DM, oh, you look so sexy. This, that, and the third. Her response, oh, thank you. I appreciate it. This, that, and the third. I'll come back to that in a minute.
All right.
So moving past that or whatever. So the way that he played it, didn't get upset, went in through the phone, put the phone back on the bed because she on her work call or whatever. Then that's when I get the call, Ayo Lace. This the situation. What should I do? That's number one. So backtrack a little bit. Last year sometime or whatever, get a package at the crib from Savage Fenty.
Oh, okay.
From Savage Fenty.
Yeah.
They sell a wealth of things. We know they sell a wealth of things. Anyway, it comes from the personal trainer / meal prep.
Hey, bro.
Hear me out. Hear me
bro.
out. Let me finish. I'm cooking. Let me finish. So he asked about that initially when it happened. Why is this dude sending you Savage Fenty? Like, you know what I mean? What is that
And
about?
for clarity, that's draws, right?
No, they sell everything.
It could be mostly draws, but they got makeup, all types.
Yeah,
of
they
stuff.
sell perfume, sweatsuits, like all that loungewear, like that kind of stuff. However, the response was, oh, he gets a discount at Savage Fenty. So I got him to order it for me and send it to me. First of all, we all got Google. We all got subscription. Anybody can sign up for this. Am I right or wrong?
Right.
So, again, back to the present day. I said, yo, my boy, how did you handle it? He was like, bruh, I didn't do anything because I know the police were going to be called because she was going to be in between my legs. I'm choking her out with two hands, her head bouncing off the bed. So the question lends, why is it, before I tell you what the response was once he presented it later on after work, what happened, why is there such an issue with certain individuals, I'm not going to say women or men because I know that it goes both ways, accepting accountability for doing unprincipled things? I.e., I beg the question, if you wouldn't want me doing it, why are you out here doing it? So I will stop right there. I want to hear you all's response.
You know, it's very funny. I actually was scrolling TikTok and Shaq proposed the exact same instance.
Oh, for real?
Yes, he proposed. He was on his show. He was talking with this young girl, and he was like, "I can't." He said, "Women always changing the rules." She was like, "What are you talking about?" He was like, "Let's say, for instance, I get your friend text me and say, 'Hey, you doing a good job. I love you.' You get mad at me because I received that text. She sent me that text.
Right.
And he's like, but I didn't cheat. I didn't do no. It's just text messaging.
Yeah.
And somebody in the comments was like, you can't tell a half a billionaire how to live their life. If he don't think it's cheating,
right?
A half a billionaire got the nerve to say, I ain't cheating.
Yeah.
So I think that is I think the way Shaq thinks was erroneous.
Mhm.
It's totally crazy because it is of the mindset that you said, that if you don't like, if I wouldn't like you doing it,
Right.
then I definitely don't want to be doing it to you.
Right.
Y'all women don't take accountability. I'm not. They don't.
I
They don't take
posed the
accountability.
question. I ain't get my response.
I'm not on with y'all on. I'm not on with y'all on. Men are putting way more positions to accept accountability. We are held to the fire when it comes to being accountable, and we get offended if a man doesn't accept accountability.
Sure.
It infuriates us to the point where we like, I can't even talk to this no more,
Right.
Because he not accepting accountability. Men are always challenged to accept accountability for their stuff. Women are not. I ain't on what you on. It don't work both ways. I don't care what you say.
I would agree with you.
I agree with you. I'm just
but you won't about to say it. Don't agree with me in the hallway. Agree with me in the meeting.
No, what you talking?
Don't wait till I get in the hallway and pull me to the side and say, I appreciate what you said.
And I'm appreciating what you're saying. I agree.
I'm just telling you.
All I was saying was Shaq proposed it saying that it's not cheating, but I'm saying he's crazy. Neither one of us should be doing stuff that we don't want the other partner to do.
I'm saying that he's. I saw that same interview, and he is right. Women do change the rules a lot. They move the goalposts a lot. They change the. It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it. Situation. Like when they do it, it's cool. Just like this whole he got a discount. Blah blah. If that was the shoe was on the other foot. If I had a homegirl that had a discount
Anywhere. Costco.
It don't matter where it is.
Anywhere.
It don't matter where it is.
We all supposed to get the same discounts at Sam's Club.
Exactly.
What the hell?
That would be a problem. And you know that would be a problem. That would be a problem. And you know it would be a problem.
Yeah.
But if someone, so for example, Shaq talking about his friend, texting him saying, you know,
You doing
proud
a
of
good
you,
job. I
doing
love
good,
you.
blah, blah, blah. I can't control that text message, first of all.
Mhm.
I can't control them sending that text message to me.
Mm-hmm.
But if I responded and there was nothing sexual about it or deviant or anything like that, that is a completely different situation than receiving a DM saying someone looks sexy.
Mm-hmm.
You look sexy in that swimsuit or whatever it is. It's totally different than I see what you got going on. I'm proud of you. I love you. Blah, blah, blah.
Vastly.
Very different
Yeah.
conversations. Two totally different situations. So I don't think Shaq is crazy to say that. But I do think that your man's girl is full of I can't cuss.
Cuss, I'll leave it.
No, it's cool. It's ridiculous. He what you tell him what to do?
All right, so let's get to that.
Because I was about to say,
Because
what
people generally know you need to pack your things up and leave. That's my general response. You need to pack your things up and leave. But nevertheless, so he let the day go or whatnot. And I told him, I said, my boy, when it comes up, it's not going to go over well. Regardless, I was like, it's going to be two different responses. The response is either going to be, oh, we were friends before.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with this. I don't take it as whatever. Or it's going to be thrown in your face. Well, females tell you you look nice. Females tell you you smell good. Females tell you got nice shoes. And what do you think happened? As soon as he bought it up,
all of that
No
stuff.
accountability.
no accountability.
Gaslight.
Everything shifted.
Gaslight.
Gaslit. Well, hoes tell you that you look good.
I do.
First of all, a random stranger telling me you look nice is vastly different than a in your DM.
Yeah, that you
That's
know.
your personal trainer
That you
with, yeah.
know that you have dealings with. He doesn't have necessarily like those kinds of dealings with.
Mhm.
Telling you look sexy, and the other kicker was it was a picture that this didn't even receive.
Oh, now
So now you.
Hey, how did
Bruh.
Homer used to do Bart on The Simpsons? Was it like
And that's why I said, you mean to tell me I'm not getting this call from Montgomery County Jail? But it goes back to the lack of accountability. How do you switch it and say, oh, females do this and that? Well, you have female. Now, he was like, I don't have female friends. And I think it goes back to how men quantify friendship compared to
How
women look at
yeah.
friendship.
Yeah.
Because his thing was, if I don't hang with this, but this is your friend, but yet you claim that y'all was friends before, how come I don't?
No.
We not in the same mix.
Right.
We not, but yet he's sending stuff to the house, but yet he in your DM, you don't say nothing about it. He's seeing pictures and you responding to stuff that I ain't never even seen while you was on this trip, but yet I'm crazy for bringing it up. But if a hoe tell me, oh, you smell good, now I got to explain why I'm
Smell good.
all of that type of stuff. the double standard. So I told him that that's how it was going to go down. That's exactly how it went.
Mm-hmm.
And now it is all this, well, I don't know how we're going to move forward because you went through my phone and this, that, and the third, yada, yada, yada. Now, granted, I do agree. He shouldn't have done that.
I disagree.
I disagree too. I
Disagree.
think
Oh, well, y'all can share your. I'm just sharing my
I
thoughts.
disagree.
I'm just sharing my thoughts. The phone, for me, the phone is small scale compared to the principle and the behavior that took place that showed disrespect to your relationship.
Yes.
When you have not set boundaries.
Yeah.
Because if this man walking around on eggshells, like I can't even have nobody speak to me because shorty go respond in this way, but yet you entertaining, not necessarily sexual entertaining, but it's entertaining, period. So my thing is, why do we have such a different level of boundaries and principle when it comes to what's acceptable and what's not?
I think society has painted men as being cheaters.
Mm-hmm.
That's just all a society has done. So the moment that a man does something, it automatically goes to you're fulfilling what society says. And oftentimes, because the men are the criminals in this situation, who is the victim? Generally the woman.
Mm-hmm.
And so whenever there's a sniff or something that a man would do, immediately there's a victim type situation.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me saying? And so I think what happens is when the victim gets caught actually doing something wrong, well, you can't point at me. I'm a victim.
Mm-hmm.
There's a victim type of mentality in our society that is already there. It is built in to a number of people, and some will say females, but I'm just putting that on out there. And I think and I think it is a matter of I can't do anything wrong because in society's eyes, you are the one that's supposed to be doing something wrong.
I got you.
This is full on manipulation. I don't care what you say.
Legit.
About
I'm just painting.
I know you paint the picture of victimhood and all that. This is downright manipulation. Okay, she's trying to manipulate the situation by flipping it on him instead of accepting responsibility and accountability for what she did. And because it is being exposed, her only way out is to try to make him feel guilty for finding out what he knows and being put in this situation. So it's manipulation followed by gaslighting. How do I know that? Those are two tactics I use regularly. I regularly use those tactics.
Yeah.
I know what it looks like.
Yeah.
And when people try to gaslight me, sometimes I'd be like, you suck at this.
Mm-hmm.
And they'd be like, what are you talking about? I'd be like, you're trying to gaslight me right now, but you can't gaslight a gaslighter. You suck at this. You need more practice.
Mm-hmm.
She needs more practice, basically, with this gaslight situation. But first of all, I want to give you man credit for waiting for the work call to be over.
Right, yeah.
Because that Zoom would have been over.
Over with. Legit.
I'm telling you
The
right now.
whole
You
table
talking about being embarrassed?
Yeah.
You about to be embarrassed. Because I'm about to ruin your whole day. Your meeting. Oh, this is over with. You might not have a job by the time I get finished with you. I don't care if you're in the middle of a presentation. Take that off of mute. Put it on mute. Whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
What I just seen, we about to have this conversation right now.
Right.
And get that out the way right now. So
Yeah.
when I say like going through the phone, I'm usually one of those that say don't go through the phone.
Mm-hmm.
In the moment, it popped up because of something that he noticed.
Right,
I'm noticing that my money is leaving
Yeah.
this account. So now I'm investigating the money.
Mm-hmm.
Someone could have stole my identity. Someone could have got hold of the card. Is she actually making these? Now I'm doing investigation.
Mm-hmm.
And upon investigating the money, this pops up.
Right.
So then I click it because it pops up. Not that he was breaking into
Right,
the phone,
correct,
going
correct,
through. So
correct,
that's
correct.
why I'm saying
I got you.
I'm
I
in
follow
agreement. He was following the situation.
The chain of events.
The chain of events.
Yeah.
And I'm in the meeting and I'm saying, I agree with you, Melvin.
Okay, I appreciate you.
Okay, I agree with you.
I appreciate you. Now you might not. So when as soon as he, you know what I'm saying, saw that, I mean, he pretty much already knew what it was at this point. It's like, how do we want to go forward type conversation? I mean, I know people do that type of stuff, but I'm just at this point, I know what this is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to sound crazy when I say it. It is so much worse when a woman cheats than when a man cheats.
Oh, I agree with that.
It's so much worse because the process is totally different.
Mm-hmm.
The engagement is totally different. It is very hard, and I know women say that they can do it, but it is very hard for them to be engaged in a male that they don't have any feelings for. at all.
Oh,
To
yes,
consistently
yes.
be in that position. Like men on a slow day, I might not even think that you look the best. But if I'm having a slow day, I might entertain this situation. I might entertain with you. We can have sex today. I will forget your name by this afternoon, and I'll move on with myself. I don't remember nothing about what happened. I did it for the moment. That was it. It's very hard for women to do that, to create that separation. So sometimes when men cheat, it's for that one thing that they're trying to fulfill, and when that's over with,
it's done.
That's why it's done. They can turn it off and go back, to doing
business
what it
usual.
is and be unaffected. It's a lot harder for women to open themselves up that way, and for there to still remain some type of separation. There is a physical connection between those two now. In that situation, she has an affinity for this person. That's why he got pictures that you didn't get.
Right.
She has an affinity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Real knee slapper. I see you. So what I'm saying in this instance, it's almost like you can't go back. I know that people say, people can change. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Da da da. You can't go back.
The seed is planted.
You have to move on. Like I know it sounds bad, like because you want to fight for it, but you have to. There's no way, because if you do take her back, and it sounds crazy, if you do take her back, there's going to be less respect for you from her as you move forward.
Really? You
because
think so?
Now she's like, if I can get away with that,
Or
if I could get away with this, what else can I get away with? I've heard plenty of women say that they will actually have less respect for them if they do take me back than if he just stood on business and said, no, you got to go over there, or you can't come back. The same stuff, and this is why I be arguing. The same stuff that men think is helping them sometimes is hurting them.
I got you.
Like
I can agree with that.
where you're like, oh, I got to be soft and gentle and understanding. There's a time for that. There is a time for that. I do agree. But you can get more respect in your marriage and your relationship, especially from your women, if you stand firm and be about your business, than if you're always bending over every time she has a request or a discomfort or something like that. You can get so much more done. Your relationship will be different. And so many men are in this situation where they like, oh, my wife don't respect me. My wife don't listen to me. My wife do this, or my girlfriend does this. But then every time they have a grievance or a situation, or she's at an all he's doing is trying to fulfill whatever's wrong with her. I'm trying to meet all the needs that she has at every moment of the day, and I'm suppressing mine all the time. And every time I do that, all I'm doing is conditioning her to expect that this is what I'm going to do. So respect starts to diminish. I don't have to do what you say, because most of the time you're doing what I say. You're not standing on business because you worried about some of those things that we talked about. If I stand on business, am I going to get that coochie that I thought I was going to get later? How's she going to respond? So then I don't, you know what I'm saying, stand on business or whatever it is. And then you find yourself in a situation where nobody listen to me. My wife don't listen to nobody, because
it is principle and boundaries. And I don't understand why people operate in principle in any other setting. But yet, in other settings, because this person is considered friend, whatever, that you can alleviate your principle, because again, we know that you wouldn't want this man doing that. But yet you allow the boundary to slide, and yet you find yourself in these types of predicaments, and then you defend it when you had opportunity to say, oh, no, I appreciate you responding or thinking that whatever via the picture, but I don't need you calling me sexy.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't need you. That's not what this is in respect for. You don't even have to say in respect for my relationship, in respect for me and our friendship. Because again, why are you operating in that lens or in that sense? And then you wondering why you walk around with a black eye for 2 weeks.
right.
I'm not condoning that.
We are not promoting violence on the Manly D podcast.
We are
I'm not condoning that. We are not.
violence.
But what I'm saying is, those things can create a sharp reaction and response.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
If you're on the receiving end of that.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. First of all, I agree. I want to let you know, Melvin, in the presence of
In the meeting,
and in the presence of friends, that was an astute Observation. I really do feel you on that. And I also do believe that there is a principle that you do have to stand upon. The question is, what scale does that principle need to be on?
Mhm.
Now, granted, one thing I want to congratulate your boy. I don't know if he'll ever listen to this podcast. I want to congratulate him for not acting in the moment.
Correct.
Because,
I did. Yeah.
because
I told him
acting
that, yeah.
in the moment would have ended him up in county jail, and he
Oh,
would
yeah.
have asked you to put money on his commissary.
For sure.
And I would.
But it's better to be outside of the prison bars than it is to be
Correct.
inside of the
That's
prison
true,
bars.
too.
Because
Correct.
if he's inside the prison bars, not only is their workout trainer giving her the helping her with her meals, he's also helping with her back alignment. If you feel
He
what
already
I'm saying.
helping with her back alignment.
Well, he ain't gonna have.
If you think those two are not having sex, you're crazy.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. He just got to move on. They are. I'm telling you right now. Savage Fenty, meal prep, she's sending him money to get stuff. They having sex.
And that's what's so crazy.
The back
about
has been
it.
aligned.
That's what's so crazy about it. But why not even when he brought it up to her? Why not just take complete ownership at that point? What are you trying to defend? The nigga saw it with his own two eyes.
And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why.
And I'm gonna tell you why too.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why usually women don't. And why men oftentimes will if they get caught enough.
Mm-hmm.
A woman could get caught and still lie.
For sure.
They deny.
Yeah.
I will deny to the day. I don't care if you got pictures.
Mhm.
What you see is not what you thought you saw. Okay?
Now you're a magician.
Right.
Voila. Voila. Now you're a magician.
And it's because they know the same thing that we know. It's different when they do it than when we do it. And if I accept accountability and responsibility, he gonna leave me. And I'm gonna lose my man. I wasn't thinking about not having this man until now. I was cool when I was doing what I was doing. When I was having a good time, getting my back line between sets and stuff like that, I was having a good time. Now that reality is in my face and I might lose my husband, and I know what's really out there in the dating world, and I may be, if we probably around the same age, I'm in my upper 30s, lower 40s, and I got to get back out here, I'm about to lie. I'm not going to accept accountability and risk this man leaving me right now. So I'm not going to tell the truth.
Yeah.
I'm going to make you feel crazy
Yeah.
so that I can maintain my position where I'm at right here
Mhm.
in this space.
I
I
feel
might
you.
still do that other
Why
stuff
does-
that I'm going to do.
But why does it take for some people the point of potentially losing everything to realize the value of the thing that they can actually lose? Because I've had that situation before where I have broken up with somebody and then afterwards they're like, I don't know why I put you in the position where you had to break up with me.
Mhm.
But they accept the ownership once it's done.
Mhm.
But in the moment it's deny.
Yeah.
Why does it take that in order for you to realize the value of what you actually have?
That's a tale as old as time. We may never know.
I don't think that it has to. I just think it usually falls that way with people. In general, like even I'll speak about it being married 14 years. There's at times where you get so comfortable because you're with a person all the time that
Mhm.
sometimes all you're willing to look at and see is the stuff that they're not doing right.
Mm-hmm.
All the stuff that they're missing or where they're misstepping. So then every time they do something, you just add it to your bank. She don't do this. She don't do that. He don't do this. He don't do that. They never do this. And we never really look at what they are actually doing right or doing well or
Yeah.
where are the good parts of
Yeah.
our relationship. I'm only focused on the bad. So then when that's all I have in my brain about
Yeah.
this person,
Yeah.
that's what helps to push me
Mm-hmm.
in the direction that I'm going. And then after I've been over there and I get caught now, or
Mhm.
now it's put in my face and I got to think about everything, you start realizing those one little 2 or 3 things that's wrong
Ain't
with
that
them
bad.
ain't as
Right.
bad as I,
All right.
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? When it's all in perspective, that's how you start to feel. But
Yeah.
in the moment, all you think about is all the stuff they're not providing
Right.
or whatever
Yeah,
it is.
The
and
grass
all that
ain't
looks-
always greener.
all that looks better over there.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying like that. So in those instances, women will more than likely not take accountability because I know that he's gonna leave me because it's gonna affect him differently
Right. It's going to eat him
than
up.
it would me
Yeah.
It's going to
or
eat
whatever.
him up.
And a lot of the time, of course, men do lie. They'll deny. But men will usually accept accountability more
Mhm.
in those instances, honestly, because we know we probably have a chance we can go home. Like, let's just be honest. Like the
Is that fair?
No, I'm not saying it's fair. I'm just saying that we know that we could probably go home for some of the same reasons that I just told you, because women care about things that men don't care about a lot of time. Like, women find time really important. We've been dating for this long. They don't want to feel like they wasted time.
Yeah.
Because we've been dating for 7 years, although this relationship is not good, I don't want to give it up because we've been dating for 7 years.
Right.
I don't want to waste time.
The investment, basically.
The investment.
Yeah.
Men are more like, we ain't been good for 7 years.
Right.
I'm about to move on. I've tried this for 7 years. Time has told me this is not, it's not going where I think it's going or whatever. So I'm about to move on, where the women are like, it's been 7 years. I got to get something for this 7 years.
Right.
So I'm not just up and trying to let it go. So if you're in a marriage and you've been married any length of time, y'all got kids, y'all got a house, y'all got all this stuff, even though what you did to me is not desirable, it's not what I want, it hurt my feelings, do I still want to be in a situation where I'm wasting all this time?
Yeah.
Wasting the life that we built, giving up on our kids and our house and all that other type of stuff. That's the type of stuff that they think about. And unfortunately, we know that. So that is why, even if it's not desirable, we'll tell the truth, or we'll come forward and then try to do corrective things to, move it forward.
Salvage
because,
whatever.
You know what I'm saying? Salvage whatever it is, because our experience is different. But if the shoe was on the other foot, I don't care if we've been married for 20 years. You gave that man some cheeks. You gave that head, and I'm paying bills. You gave him $200 of my money to go get something, and you got me pajamas for Christmas.
Right.
You and that nigga gonna have a good time.
Right.
Because you can't come back here.
Yeah.
And if I'm a woman and I know that's the thing, I'm not gonna tell the truth. I'm not about to accept accountability. So their avoidance of accountability a lot of times is rooted in fear of losing something.
Yeah.
Right. But also too, the other question that came up in my conversation with the homie was, why is it so hard to, even if the other party doesn't accept accountability, why is it so hard to, and this is why I say a lot of men struggle, given the emotional space to even share how they feel? Because if he wasn't talking to me, he wouldn't have shared how he felt based upon the situation, because it's going to be flipped on me. It's going to be, I'm not doing this or I'm not doing that. Well, if you paid me more attention, he wouldn't have had to say, no. It boils down to boundaries and principle. Ain't got nothing to do with all that other stuff. But if he's not comfortable enough to even share in his relationship, this is how I feel, this is how you make me feel when you do things like this, because it's met with so much defensiveness. How do you operate in that cycle of toxicity? Because that's all that it boils down to.
It's going to be a cycle of toxicity. You have to do something out of the norm that's going to have to break the cycle.
For sure, I agree.
And part of that breaking the cycle is being open and honest. The problem is, we as couples, and I admit my wife and I are victim to this, we don't practice open honesty enough.
Right.
That it allows for the cycle to be broken.
Got you. Agreed.
Like, I just realized a couple, maybe a year or two ago, that my wife and I are continuously in a cycle around a certain times of the year.
I feel you. Yeah.
And it'll be a time where she gets disgusted with me, I get disgusted with her, we don't talk for a little while, and then we back friends again. But the problem is, what is very problematic is the disgust that we have with each other can easily be addressed if we just talk about it.
Right. And that's one thing that I know that he is, even in our conversation that was mentioned, as far as the communication piece and the communication gap. Like, you can't say I'm not being open and transparent with you. When I do, it's always met with this, that, and the third from a defensive standpoint, or you shouldn't feel like that, or the gaslighting piece, and wanting to walk around and be open and transparent. You haven't created that space, and that's a you thing that you have to work on to create that space. So yeah, it was interesting. It was interesting conversation.
Bruh, I'm trying to figure out how to say this with grace so that it's received, because I think it would be beneficial. But the way I feel it is not processed with how I should say it right now. So I'm gonna try to think about it while I'm saying it. A lot of men, or we have this conversation about married men looking miserable. That's like the messaging that goes on a lot now about married men. Married men look miserable. Married men are miserable. And a lot of that misery is coming from us actually adding to our own misery.
I can agree with that.
And a lot of the misery is coming from the unwillingness to address our issues, feelings, and discomforts with our spouse because of the immature belief that I shouldn't because of how she's going to respond to what I have to say. Is an immature understanding to not articulate yourself the way that you should based on someone else's lack of accountability or lack of emotional maturity. Just because she may respond toxically to what you have to say doesn't mean that you shouldn't say what you have to say.
Agreed.
And a lot of guys are not saying what they should and have to say because she's not going to accept accountability anyway. She going to flip it on me. So what if she does? So what if she does? You still have to put your voice out there. You still have to advocate for yourself. You still have to put it on display what it is if you're looking to garner that type of response. One of the things that me and my wife don't do is argue in text message. I'm not going to argue.
Oh, no,
I'm not going to argue with you in text. I could, but I'm not. Because I need you to hear what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If we're going to get through this conversation, you got to be able to hear what I'm talking about. I'm not going to be arguing with you going back in conversation because what I have to say, you need to hear. And vice versa. I want to hear what you have to say. Don't wait till we at home, you ain't talked to me all day, and then when you leave, you text me your feelings.
Right.
Save it till you get back home or wait until you get to a space where you can talk to me about it. But I don't want to receive your feelings in no text message. That's a conversation that we need to have out loud.
Sure.
And there's a lot of men who are arguing through text.
Bro, I don't understand it. I appreciate it because it makes for good internet, social media content. So I be reading people's text messages and stuff because they be screenshotting, posting. It makes good for that. But I don't understand, why would you argue via text?
Because it's easier. I can say what I want to say at a distance.
Right.
Because of how you respond to me when we have audible conversation.
Yeah.
I'm going to respond through text messages because we at a distance. So I can get off what I want to say.
Yeah.
Without you, you might respond to me toxic in a text message, but you're not in front of me. And I ain't got to deal with that. I could deal with that more through this text message than I could with you sitting across from me and I'm trying to express myself. And your body language is giving off, I shouldn't be listening to what you're saying to me. Or I don't like what you're saying to me. So the posture is different. And a lot of guys are discouraged by the posture and how it would be received. So they stop speaking. That's how we do. That's how men do.
Yeah.
And I know what's crazy is, and this is the reason why I'm saying it. There's two reasons. One of the reasons why I keep saying to say what you have to say, number one, because it's beneficial for you.
Yeah.
Get it off your chest.
You got to get it out.
Get it off your chest. Say what you need to say instead of carrying it around being miserable every day.
Yeah.
And then wondering why you're miserable when you could, if he had talked to you like you said, he would have held on to that. What would that have done to him internally?
Yeah.
And it's one of those
on a
type of
day-to-day
situations.
basis.
It's one of the situations like, let me get the misery out now in a confined form instead of carrying that misery out the whole time.
Or end up on an episode of Snap. One of the two.
Which you might anyway. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying you might anyway. You never know what will push somebody over the edge. You don't know what type of space somebody gonna be in. But what I'm saying is it's beneficial for you to get it. Number one, gets it off your chest so that you're not carrying it around. Number two, your woman gets used to hearing you articulate yourself about your preferences, your wants, your desires, your needs, or anything like that. So that way, if it comes up later, she can never say, I didn't know.
Right.
She can never say, you never told me. You didn't say. Now there's no excuse. There is no room to be toxic and not take accountability because I done told you.
Yeah.
I done told you what I like. I done told you how I want things to be, just like you done expressed to me how you want things to be. That's a two-way street.
Those points were valid. Everything you stated
that
was valid.
In the meeting, I'm telling you, I agree.
No,
I will say this. I'm not thankful that I hear these stories, stuff like this. Because I hate it that it's happening for those people. But I will say, when I hear those stories, I look back at my marriage, I'm like, oh, it ain't that bad.
I feel you.
It does put things in perspective. Comparative analysis. Because when you actually hear the stories of other people, it it takes you out of your world, because when you are in your world and you're experiencing the things that you are doing in your relationship, you're like, this is absolute hell.
Right, I feel you.
But in actuality, it ain't really like hell. It's just like Myrtle Beach on a rainy day. You know what I'm saying? That's as really what it is. And so with that being said, I want to publicly say, one, Mel, I agree with what you just said. In the meeting, I'm saying that. And also in the meeting, I'm going to say, I apologize to you. Probably about a good 30 to 40 episodes ago, we argued with you in a sense of Melvin was like, married people need to be more open and honest with their conversations about what's going on in their marriage. And I still believe what I believe, but I am swayed a little bit more to Melvin's side. My stance at that moment was Melvin was saying, you need to be honest. You need to just tell everybody how you feel. And I'm like, well, first of all, people are still probably going through stuff. So let them have the time to process. However, if you have been through a battle and you got a wound, don't be afraid to tell the stories of those wounds.
Sure.
Because here, people telling you the wounds, the wars that they went through in their relationship can actually be freeing for you. I've had a conversation with a man who is currently separated from his wife. He wants to be reconciled. I've heard the conversation from three men who are divorced within the past 3 years. Hearing their stories have made me to be like, I need to fight for this woman that I love. You feel me? Because one of the things that one man wasn't forward with it, but I just shared openly. I was like, listen, so I was out in Memphis and I was hanging out with my former deans and at the previous school on the mountain, and they were like, hey, we got some positions opening up at our school. Ask your wife if she wants a job. And I'm like, first of all, I'm sitting right in front of you. You ain't gonna ask me if I want a job. You feel what I'm saying? So I joke with him about that. And so I was like, yeah, I think I really appreciate the opportunity, but for us, we realized that it's not good for us to be moving when we're trying to get rooted. I think we are in the trying to put our anchor down stage of our life. And we didn't realize that until we moved to North Carolina, because we kind of anchored in Virginia, even though we hated it. And when we moved, it was tough to move. And I was like, I can't make that move for our family right now because we're just getting rooted. They were like, all right, completely understand. Left the meeting, guy pulled me to the side. He's like, that's exactly why I got divorced. We got divorced because we were chasing my professionalism and my profession. And I'm moving my wife from this state to this state to this state to this state. And eventually she was like, when are we going to do something for us? And so when he said, you're in the right mindset and the right track and what you are doing with you and your wife. And so I commend you on that. And if he would have told me that story when I first met him, I'm not gonna say we wouldn't have moved, but we would have went through things a little bit different before we made that transition from Virginia to North Carolina. So why do I say all of this? I say all of this is for married couples. If you have been through some battles, you've been through some wars, share your stories, how you came out, how you might not have even came out. You still going through, and how you are reconciling that, because that's going to help. Definitely help flourish the marriages that are coming up behind you.
Word.
So yeah, I do apologize to you.
I appreciate your apology.
Yeah,
I appreciate your apology. I have that second thought, but I'm gonna address this first, and then I'm gonna
say what the second thought is first. No, so we can.
No, because I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose the one I'm about to say.
He already lost the first one.
Yeah, come on, bro. See, that's how I lost the first one.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So look, in response, I just want to clarify what I mean when I say that. And I think a lot in the past when I've said that, it has been received in a way that sounds like I'm just telling people to tell their business. Yeah. Just tell your business. Like when I'm talking about being honest about the truth about marriage, I'm talking about the experience, the stages of marriage, things that you may go through. Not necessarily come and talk about all the arguments that you and your wife have had, or the pitfalls or the downfalls or the stuff that you've done wrong. If the environment is suitable for that and you know this person well enough that you want to do that, go ahead. I'm not saying to just get out here and disclose everything that you deal with in your marriage, but not to also govern yourself in a way that you've never experienced anything in marriage. And that's where a lot of people are because they're worried about the presentation and the optics. They act like we just great. Eric, we wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay. Like you done been through something. You may not want to say what the something is, but sitting around acting like you haven't nothing at all. That's the part where I be like, people gotta be honest. And for a lot of reasons, primarily just because it's not always about tell me how you got out. Sometimes I just want to know that I'm not by myself.
Yes.
Sometimes it's just good for me to know I'm not by myself. Sometimes when you think you by yourself, you'll make decisions because you think you're the only one experiencing it.
Right.
Something is wrong with this woman because all my other friends' wives are doing great. When I look around, I don't see nothing wrong with them, so something got to be wrong with her.
Yeah.
But because I'm not talking about it to nobody, because no one is telling me or sharing, at least sharing my experience, like, hey, bro, I've been there. You know what I'm saying? Like, or something like to that effect, I might get rid of her when I could have probably needed someone who's like, hey, I'm in the trenches with you. I'm going through that with you. We gonna get through this situation, you know what I'm saying, together. That's a lot of the part that we missing. It's the people, and I'm not just gonna say men, it's the people that are not sitting there going, I'm in the trenches with you. You were talking about going to the gym by yourself. And I was saying that it's hard. I respect people who can just get up and go to the gym by themselves because a lot of people need someone to go with them to the gym.
Yeah.
And it's not so much that I need a person to go to the gym. There's a difference when I'm working out by myself and I get to a point where I'm tired and I'm by myself. So I just put the weights back on the rack and I move on to something else versus being in the gym. We go together. I'm getting tired doing this, and I look over at you, and you like, nah, bro, one more set.
One
more set.
Because
you said one more set, now I'm like, I got one more set.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm trying to get the one more set. So we need to start talking to people from a lens of not necessarily this is what me and my wife was arguing about, but what you're dealing with is not uncommon. It's not uncommon to be having the situation that you're in. I went through that at some point, similar thing too. You know what I'm saying? You'll be all right. But even if I don't have the answer, that's the problem. People think that they have to have the answer. You don't have to have the answer.
Sometimes I just need to know you're going through.
Sometimes I just need to know that you're going through because I'm not by myself.
But that also stems to a space of some aspect of community, but also having a space to share and align and have understanding of what one has experienced or currently experiencing, et cetera. So putting ourselves in those types of positions to do that, to share, to also be able to feed into others.
But I think that starts with sharing it, though. We always use this word about space, like we're waiting for an opportunity.
No. When I say space, I mean, like, again, if Troy didn't have a relationship with this guy in some capacity, you would have never heard that story. So that's what I mean, space. I'm not talking about like we need to link up at Starbucks.
All right. But I'm saying
on Monday at 9.
That's what I'm saying.
No, I'm saying space is we're in community in some way in which that can be put into the atmosphere. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because a lot of people, when they hear space, meet me, link up.
No.
I'm talking about just.
I'm not talking about
the opportunity.
Literal space. I'm talking about figurative space in which we know, based upon our connection in some way, whether that is something that is currently relevant or it was relevant. Y'all just happen to be in the same physical space, which led to this conversation.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, this ideation.
That's all I be saying. We spend so much time, and that's what you asked when you was like, "Is it lying or is it whatever?" And I'm like, "It is lying. At certain parts of it is lying." At a certain point, withholding becomes lying.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So it's not always a lie, but sometimes it's lying. You just flat out lying. And so a lot of married people lie because they worried about the optics and the presentation or whatever it is. And it's the things that we think are to our benefit by withholding and lying.
It's to our detriment.
It's to our detriment and to other people's detriment too. And I'm not even just talking about like our relationship. Your kids too.
Oh, yeah.
Married people with kids. For example, I had a homeboy. He was married. He was going through stuff with his wife that everyone goes through, stages that everyone goes through. You're trying to take two people and bring them together as one. That's not going to be easy. There's going to be disagreement. There's going to be struggle. There's going to be a lot of that. But growing up, whenever his parents would have a disagreement, they would do it in private.
So he never.
But they would represent in front of the kids like everything was fine. What he used to always say is, I never saw my parents argue. Because I never saw my parents argue, in his mind, his parents didn't have arguments.
Right.
So because I'm having arguments with my wife, something's wrong with me and my marriage and her because I didn't see my parents arguing.
Yeah.
But his parents were arguing in private because they felt like they didn't want to show him negativity, the ugly side of marriage.
Yeah. Right.
But because you didn't see your parents argue, you also didn't learn how to have a healthy disagreement and stay married. Your parents are still married because they know how to have healthy conflict because they're doing it.
But they also did him a disservice too, though.
But that's what I'm saying. His parents thought they were doing a good thing by withholding and keeping it private to themselves.
Yeah.
But they held him back because he never saw, how do I have a disagreement with my wife and stay married? How do I know that this is comfortable for me? It's common to be in a disagreement with people because a lot of people will think that someone is foolish to just assume, well, you got to know people argue. They got to, people know what they see.
Right. All right.
I know what I've seen. I know what I've experienced. I know what I've heard. If I haven't seen, heard, or experienced it, how do you just assume that I'm just going to know that this is what happens, you know what I'm saying, with people? Yeah. So I'm not saying like if y'all punch each other in the head and all that type of stuff, do it in front of your kids. But if you're having every disagreement is not a it's not an imperfection. It's not a, you know what I'm saying? It's not an imperfection. It's an opportunity, as Troy would say, to grow. So that's what I'm saying. A lot of times it's a detriment to us. And then for people who are putting themselves in situations where you always acting like everything is fine, you don't have nobody to lean on when you're really going through something. Yeah. Because you done so much lying. Now I can't even bring it to your attention because I done been acting like.
That's where pride comes.
You know what I'm saying? So if you were even a little bit honest about your situation, you could have that person beside you that's like, one more set. Yeah. We could do X, Y, and Z. But you don't have that because you lying. That's why I be saying about it's for everyone involved.
Oh, for sure.
It seems to be one-sided when I present it because it's like it's to the benefit of someone else. But it's benefiting both groups.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's helping us to keep longer marriages. Point two of what I was saying of why it is beneficial to even in the situation continue to have the conversation is because outside of it becoming audible and hearing what you have to say and stuff like that, women have this incredible gift where if ain't nobody saying nothing, it's good. Everything is good.
Well, you have to break that down for me.
Men have to understand that if you're not saying it out loud, your wife thinks everything is fine. Because you're not saying anything.
Because it's not being presented.
Because you're not presenting it, she thinks you're good. You're upset on the inside and you're boiling and you won't say nothing about it. But because you're not saying nothing about it, she thinks that everything is fine. If she don't think that everything is fine, she not addressing it because you're not addressing it.
Oh yeah.
So
absolutely.
I'm going to take this opportunity to keep ignoring and doing what I'm doing because you're not putting me in a position where I have to take accountability for it. So what men do is when we start to get frustrated with something or we get bothered with something and we don't want to deal with it, we close our mouth. We stop talking about it. We like, I'm not gonna deal with that. I ain't gonna say nothing about it. Every time I say something, don't nothing change. Don't nothing happen. I done told her 5-6 times. She keep doing the same thing. I'm wasting my breath, so I'm not gonna say nothing no more. So we just be quiet. We stop talking. We don't say nothing. So because we not saying nothing about it no more, she thinks that everything is good because he used to complain. But he not complaining now.
No more.
So I'm good. I'm dealing like everything is good. But you pissed off because she's still doing it. You just ain't talking about it no more because you feel like you wasting your breath.
Yeah.
But I'm saying is you even if you feel like you wasting your breath, you got to keep pushing for it because if you don't, unless it's going to happen by osmosis or you all the way in the spirit praying, which most of y'all not doing anyway.
Yeah.
It ain't just gonna be downloaded into her spirit you just gonna.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I understand that, and I agree to an extent. My response would be, I think that men do the same thing. Instead of addressing, I'm going to act like everything is cool.
You even said that once.
What?
Like if a man cheats, it's like, hey, or a situation comes up, it's like, hey, that's in the past. Let's just keep on moving.
No, I've already accepted accountability for it.
Well, I'm just saying the concept.
I've done it. It's in the past.
Yeah.
So I think it does go both ways, but I think that sometimes I don't think that women think that everything is cool. They know that you're boiling. It's just the fact of
When is it going to boil over?
When is it going to boil over?
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily the part that got me is thinking that everything is cool, because I know that they don't think that everything is cool.
Because they think about that joint all the time.
Right. So it's more so, when is it going to pop off, or when is it going to come to a head again, or whatever the case may be.
So I think those first 2 points are valid, what you made, and then a third is what Lace, because I was actually going to say the exact same thing, is that it's like he hasn't said anything to me. When is he going to drop that other shoe? I think that's the concept.
You think that's what they think about?
Sometimes
I
think that's a third option. Your first two are.
I'm just asking.
Yes, your first two are thing, and I think there is a third.
Has anyone told you that?
Yes.
Who told you that?
My wife told me that when she said, "I thought you were going to divorce me."
Because
I addressed something in the moment, and it is what it is. I said what I said, and I don't have to say no more. And after I said what I said, she was like, "Okay, so what now?" And I never addressed it again. I never said anything about it or whatever the case may be, because I said everything I needed to say. She thought that another shoe was going to drop, and she was, because I believe she lives in the what if this could happen type of type of lifestyle. She thought it's like, she thought the worst at all moments. She did not think the best, that I was going to be gracious, that I was going to be kind, that I was going to be loving, that I was going to be covering in this moment. Covering in this moment. She thought that I was going to be vindictive, and I don't know. And that's a trauma response, because in the past something has probably happened with her where people held on to something and then dropped it later. But for me, I was going to be different, and so I think that is a third option of, they're prepared for the worst to happen.
But that sounds like, I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. I feel like the situation is different, because it was something that you had addressed, that you had talked about, but it was just an open-ended situation. It doesn't sound like there was closure to the situation, which led her to be wondering when the shoe was going to drop.
It was closure on my end.
And that's my point. It was closure on your end, and hers, it was not. So you being quiet or moving on when it was still an open.
It was open
to her. She came up with these, and I think, again, positioning in the relationship doesn't really matter.
Right.
At the end of the day, I think human nature, we all have those kinds of responses. Because for me, if I get quiet, you already know it's a problem. So if I'm not saying nothing, if I'm not engaging, if I'm not whatever, then there's still beef. we got an issue. We got an issue, because I know how to get quiet and move different. Yeah. Whereas on the other hand, if you do that, I may not necessarily think or know that there's a problem because I'm moving, different. So like I said, it can go either way depending on.
Yeah,
that's what's up.
Because for me in the moment was like, hey, this is an incident, and it wasn't one of those things that's like, it wasn't even a we're going to get divorced situation. It wasn't. It was one of those things. I've never seen anybody argue, in front of me. Everybody's always been quiet and mean, when they get upset. And so it's like, just like your homeboy, I never seen it before. I'm guessing this is how my wife felt. I've never seen this before. This is the worst thing that's ever happened. And people go through stuff. It's a normal Tuesday. It's a normal Tuesday. You feel me? We go through stuff. We talk about it. We say how we feel. I forgive you. We keep on moving. You know what I'm saying? And you've been always talking about this. We need to have a podcast about how do you apologize? Because I really do believe that how do you apologize and how you receive apologies because they can be different between partners.
Oh yeah.
You never have that closure to situations. If I say that I forgive you, then the issue is over. You feel me? If I say let's move on after I've been done wrong, it's over. You feel me? But for others, they're like, you said it's over, but is it over?
Right.
Over?
Right.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I hope y'all appreciate this, because
that was good.
That was a good episode. That was fantastic.
Good conversation.
It was fantastic.
Y'all can thank me later for bringing the situation forward. You can thank me later for bringing the situation forward.
No, we're gonna thank your boy's wife.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. I want to do a call to action.
I didn't mean to laugh. That's not. I'm not. My bad, bro. I'm
Yeah,
not laughing.
yeah, we're not laughing at your
I'm
situation, bro.
Not laughing.
Not laughing at you.
Not
Not laughing at you.
We're not laughing at you. I do want to do a call of action. If you really appreciate Manly D's podcast, subscribe to our YouTube, our Instagram, our TikTok. Also, make sure you like. Even if your comment is just a laughing emoji,
Or these dudes trash.
or these dudes trash,
Whatever. You know what I'm saying?
We appreciate the bad commentary. Like when homeboy said that I need to let the braids go.
Yeah.
I thought I appreciated
We
that.
be cackling.
We
Screenshot them joints to put them in the chat. Like, hey, ladies, you see what they saying about you, bro?
All good.
I 100%
Keep up the good work.
So
I be toast up.
with that being said, if you really appreciate us, we're not asking you for any money yet. But before we do, share, like, subscribe, talk to it about your friends, even bring it up in conversation. Like, hey, I saw these dudes, they were talking about this. What's your perspective on it?
Yeah.
Things of nature, because we're trying to do thought-provoking conversations that we don't have out loud.
Come on, bro.
Out loud. So it's your boy Troy, Life Coach Lace, Melly Mels, the Manly D's podcast. We out.